commercial-free Catholic Charismatic channel.
He's strengthening the faith of so many people.
To promote the gift of church teaching, dedicated for the new evangelization.
God's blessings on your work. May God bless and prosper you.
Shalom World, God's own channel.
Jesus instructed his disciples on where they were to eat the Passover meal. While they were at supper, Jesus took the bread, and after giving thanks, broke it and gave it to them, saying, "Take this and eat of it, for this is my body." He then took the cup, and giving thanks, said to them, "Drink from it, all of you, for this is my blood of the new covenant, which is given for many for the forgiveness of sins. Do this in memory of me." After the Last Supper, Jesus led his disciples to Gethsemane on the Mount of Olives. There he asked Peter, James, and John, his closest disciples, to come with him as he prayed. Jesus prayed in anguish, fully anticipating what was going to happen. Yet, he submitted himself to the Father's will, fully prepared to do what his Father asked of him. Jesus found that his followers had fallen asleep. He told them, "Get up and pray that you will not fall into sin when you are tempted." But they fell asleep again. Then Judas arrived with a large crowd, armed with swords and clubs. Judas came to Jesus, kissed him on the cheek, a prearranged signal. Judas had set in motion the greatest of sorrows, but also the greatest of gifts that human beings would ever receive. Jesus was tried before the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. A large crowd had assembled, brought there by the chief priests and elders, Jesus' enemies. They cried, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate knew that Jesus was not guilty, yet he caved into the pressure of the crowd and ordered that he be crucified, a punishment reserved for the worst of criminals. Jesus was and is God. All creation was created through him. He is over all human power, but he became a human and to demonstrate his love for us. As a human, he suffered pain and suffering the same as all of us do. He did this to demonstrate God's love for us. He took away the sins of everyone who ever existed, past, present, and future, yours and mine.
Above all powers, above all kings, above all nature and all created things, above all wisdom and all the ways of man, you were here before the world began. Above all kingdoms, above all thrones, above all wonders the world has ever known, above all wealth and treasures of the earth, there's no way to measure what you're worth. Crucified, laid behind the stone, you lived to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all. Above all kingdoms, above all kings, above all nature and all created things, above all wisdom and all the ways of man, you were here before the world began. Above all powers, above all thrones, above all wonders the world has ever known, above all wealth and treasures of the earth, there's no way to measure what you're worth. Crucified, laid behind the stone, you lived to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all. Crucified, laid behind the stone, you lived to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all.
Two criminals were crucified alongside Jesus. One of them said to him, "Aren't you the Christ? Save yourself and save us." The other criminal rebuked him and said, "This man has done nothing wrong. We deserve to die, but he doesn't." He then turned to Jesus and said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus assured him that he would be with him that day in heaven. We all have crosses to bear. Some of them are big crosses. But if we have our faith in Jesus, as that criminal did, he helps us to carry our crosses. And ultimately, we'll find that we are capable of doing that. Lent is a time of a journey. We journey through the experience of Jesus, pain, suffering, eventually death. But out of it, a miracle that we could never have anticipated, the victory of life over death. Let us now continue on our own journey to the cross.
Shalom tidings. This is good news for a new generation. Discover God's constant presence amidst the hopelessness in our lives. Tiffany Layton writes about losing her young husband to horrific violence in Clinging to the Cross. God's grace showed Anne Noel how to be a merciful woman. Brother Manis Matus tells us why misery, pain, and suffering can indeed be a gift. Lisa Duffy shares her experiences in escaping the dangers of the divorce culture. Patty Knapp understands the infinite value of having a mass said, and so much more. Read about how God gives hope for the heartbroken in the February-March 2015 issue of Shalom Tidings. Visit shalomworld.org/tidings. Also available in Barnes & Noble stores